everybody, and welcome to another week of the CanWest Top 50. I'm Ballsy. Thanks for coming along on the ride as we move towards the top player in the CanWest Conference as chosen by the coaches, media, and some players anonymously. Now, before we get to this week's list, we need to rewind to last week to see how we got here.
All right, Treshaun, how's your long off season been going with this pandemic that seems to have been going forever?
I definitely think it was a little bit too long. I mean, not playing football. It's probably been the longest that I haven't played football in a bit, just given with the COVID situation. But definitely think it was long overdue. But I think it was definitely productive. Definitely gave me some time to prepare even more before heading out to camp and preparing to go to Ottawa. So. I think it was kind of maybe a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Obviously, I mean, I think I would have been ready regardless if we were ready to go. But I definitely, who's ever going to be upset with getting some more time to prepare, right? So
yeah, absolutely. So how did you use that time productively? What did you do to get better as a football player?
I would say I just focused a lot on, because since I got the benefit of just, getting the playbook from Ottawa and stuff like that, just, studying the playbook and, just getting in tune with myself and just trying to understand what I needed to do to translate my game from the university level to the next level. Maybe that just have been with working out, just working on my cardio, just working on, the mental aspect of the game. I think those are just a couple of the things that I felt like I needed to work on and, just try to be a student to the game as much as possible.
What's the strong point of your game that'll translate well from USPORTS to Ottawa?
I think for me, my versatility is the one thing I pride myself on, and I think I do other things really well too. But I think the fact that I'm versatile and I'm comfortable being versatile is something that you don't really get. Not something you get to see too often, especially with DBs. So I think me just understanding defenses as a concept rather than just as a position is something that benefited me at UFC, and I think I'm able to translate that same thinking and thought process at the next level.
When did you start playing football, and how did you get into the game of football?
I started playing football pretty late. I started playing football actually in like grade 10, especially. And the main reason why I played football, honestly, was because I was playing basketball at the time, but basketball season didn't start until like the end of the year, around like November, December, and I was like, I need to do something to keep myself active until that happens. So I tried out actually for the soccer team, and that didn't work out. I got cut, and I was like, damn. And my boys were like, yo, like you should just come try to play football. And I don't know, it was a combination of playing with my friends and girls like football players at the time, at least. So I was like, you know what, might as well just have a good time. I was in grade 9, grade 10, so it was like it would be a good way to meet people and just get associated with my high school. But after that, I mean, just realized how talented or the potential that I had in the game, and for me it was really good just like being able to have a sport where I could like let out like a lot of like stress and just typical teenage boy stuff. So I don't know, it just seemed like the right sport for me, like after I played, and then after that it was kind of history.
Getting ready for Ottawa here, Treshaun. Did you lean on any CFL guys? I think I was talking to Mike Adam. He said he worked out with you, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I've been working out. The group that I've been working out with has all been veteran CFL guys. We're working out with Jake Hardy, Micah Tights, Brett Wade here and there, Connor McGough, Treshaun Antwi, Eli Buka. So I mean, the list kind of goes on. I mean, it's cool that they're all Dinos alumni, but I've just been working out with them for most probably about since like February. So for me, just being able to pick the brain of a guy like Mike Eden, for example, like a CFL vet, Canadian DB, and kind of doing the same things that I kind of want to do, and it's like or have the same impact that I want to have in the CFL too. So it's been nice, definitely be able to pick their brains and understand a lot of stuff that can save me going into camp for sure.
What's the first thing you think of when you think of the 2019 Vanier Cup? What pops in your mind? It seems like a decade ago the way it's been going, but I mean that's going to be a memory that sticks with you forever. So what do you think about when you think about that?
I definitely just think it was long overdue. Definitely because and it's known across the country, you know, we're known for having really good teams, really powerful, impactful teams. And even, you know, even before I came here, the level of teams that we had prior to me coming were even arguably more phenomenal. The Andrew Buckley era, you know what I mean? Like, so, and you know, they weren't able to do it. And I just feel like it was, you know, our coaches were very dedicated and they spent a lot of time into us and put a lot of time into us. So I definitely felt like us, it felt like we owed them, owed them that Vanier Cup championship. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I remember was just like, for me, it was just like being able to see the coaches' emotions and everything after the fact that we won, just because like, that's what we're all here for. You know what I mean? We're all here to win. We're all here to win championships. And I think obviously from being a guy that has kind of played my 4 years and I got to be a part of different teams and seen some successes some years and not some success the others, you know, for me being in my 4th year, especially going into the draft, it was definitely like monumental knowing that like I was able to help our team you know, secure a championship, the first one in 25 years. So
yeah, and you'll have that memory forever and have that brotherhood forever. So it's gonna be weird going to Ottawa because no preseason, 2 draft classes.
Yeah.
What kind of expectations do you have going in terms
I think my main mentality going in, like I wouldn't say I'm not worried. Obviously, there's a lot that's unknown, you know, still, especially since I got drafted last year and I kind of had to hold my motivation and hold that work ethic and everything for a whole year, and now I got to translate it now. But I mean, I don't know. I'm ready. Like I feel pretty confident and just, you know, the work that I've put in. And I mean, I understand the game of football. And if there's one thing that I learned from being at UFC, it was just, you know, bad plays happen and you will make mistakes. And the thing with me is I'm not someone shy that's afraid of making mistakes or being coached. You know what I mean? Like I've also pride my coachability. So I think for me, like the biggest thing is just taking everything like step by step, you know, compete at the level that I know that I can compete at. And just reloading. And when I say reloading, just being like, even if something doesn't go my way, or if, you know, like, you know, just in the process of just learning, you know what I mean? It, you know, it might be a bumpy ride, but just being able to just persevere and just fight adversity. So that's kind of my main thing I'm just looking forward to.
Hey buddy, a guy that doesn't have any hair interviewing you. I'm also admiring your hair. Is it hard to get that do to go the way you want it to?
Honestly, no. For the most part, shout out my hairdresser, Tegan. She handles everything for me. She's the reason why it looks good. And I mean, for the most part, no. I'm thankful that it stays. It doesn't get messed up or anything like that. So just trying to stay fresh and look as fresh as I can for as long as possible.
You're looking good, man, whether on the football field or maybe in a courtroom sometime, hey?
Absolutely.
Hey, man, one of the best things about doing this list is meeting guys like you. Good luck in your future endeavors, man. Congratulations on making the list, and good luck with Ottawa and training camp, man.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ballsy. Appreciate it.
Here with the University of Alberta Golden Bears offensive lineman Peter Kozushka, 6'7", 320 pounds. How big are your shoes?
I wear size 15s, Ballsy.
Size what?
15.
So where do you get them from?
Online is the best place, honestly.
Yeah. And what about clothing?
Anything I can find in tall size works for me.
Yeah. So like I know in Regina, I think we still have Mr. Big and Tall. Do you have something like that in Edmonton or something like that?
Same kind of thing, all that stuff. Mr. Big and Tall, Moores, you can get custom tailored suits actually.
Yeah.
And Old Navy actually.
Really?
Tall sizes for shirts, yeah.
Wow. I'd love to see 6'7", 320-pound Peter Kozushka try to get out of the Old Navy parking lot on Quan Street in Regina. You ever been there trying to get out of that in the East End there?
Not that one, no.
Oh, that's crazy, man. But in Edmonton, there's probably 10 of them. Have you always been the biggest guy?
Pretty much so, yeah. Growing up through elementary school, I was always the tallest. And I think around grade 6, I started passing some of the teachers. But I think that's, around that 6 foot mark was then. So, and then just kept growing.
Okay, so is that awkward for you to be kind of that guy? Probably a little clumsy going through those years where guys can get picked on. I mean, if you're that big, you're probably not going to get picked on, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely took some time to adjust to learning how to use my body and my size. I played basketball all through high school, and I was extremely clumsy when I started playing. Like, could not make a shot to save my life, but I got all my rebounds, so it was easy that way. Just kept shooting and putting it up until something would go in, just because the coordination wasn't there yet.
Yeah. Was there ever any doubt that you'd go into football? Was basketball kind of an option or never an option?
I still love football more.
Yeah.
Football really let me be who I wanted to be on the field instead of, whereas basketball, it's contact, but it's not really contact. So yeah.
Okay, so who do you want to be? Who are you on the field, Peter Kozushka?
On the field, I try and play the game the right way, which is just giving everything I have, every play, playing hard-nosed football, playing to the whistle, and just not quitting.
Well, sounds like traits of Chris Morris would like. How does it help you having a guy that played at a high level in the CFL be your head coach, and a guy that's helped build some other great guys? One that comes to mind is a guy that has your kind of dimensions, that just signed a futures contract, with the Indianapolis Colts. That'd be Carter O'Donnell.
Coach Morris is amazing, and he's really the reason that I decided to come here to Alberta. He just knows so much and is such an O-line guru when it comes to everything. And then when we have Coach Morris, and you pair him with Coach Princeton, another coach who has coached in the CFL for many years, coached at the USPORTS level, and the other assistant coaches we have along that, it's really O-line you when it comes to that, because no matter who you talk to, you're talking to somebody who has been there, who's played in the pros, and really knows what they're talking about.
So I know my son went on the recruiting trip, and we went to Alberta, and we really liked the facilities, and we really liked Chris's demeanor, and I really liked his attention to detail as it relates to school. A lot of guys go to school to play football, but if you're going to Alberta, you're going to school to go to school and then play football.
Exactly. And like Coach Morris really makes sure the players understand that their football doesn't last forever. No matter who you are, you can't play until you're 50 years old in the pros. It's not going to happen. So you need to be able to have a life after football, and that's where the degree comes in. No matter what you're doing, you need to be able to be prepared once football ends. What are you going to do with your life? And that's something that Coach Morris really focuses on, and I appreciate, just because he's focusing more on you as a person instead of you just as a jersey number who goes on the field.
So Peter, you're taking finance. What's your goal off the field whenever football ends for you?
I'm taking finance, kind of numbers guy. My goal would be probably I'd like to get into either consulting or personal finance, helping people learn about money, wealth management, investing their money, and just helping people grow.
Man, that's smart, man. I wish I had that when I was growing up, for sure. What's the most important number besides team wins? What's the most important number for an offensive lineman, since you're a numbers guy?
Most important number definitely would be how our backs are doing. How many rushing yards we can get is directly related to us, because we're creating the holes for Rosie. And how many sacks we let up. We never want to let Brad touch the ground. So those, I think, would be the two biggest ones. Just how many rushing yards that we can help make, and how many times we stop Brad from getting hit.
Yeah, you got to keep that old man upright. He's already a teacher. Like, he's already an old dude, right?
He's getting some grays, I think, so.
That's awesome. You missed the farm back in the Yorkton area.
Yeah, it's been an adjustment coming to the city for the past 5 years. You kind of get used to it, but I really like the open space and just being able to have my own space, where, like, right now I'm in an apartment and, like, 4 walls, there's always something else there. Whereas I'm a big fan of just like that open farmland where they make that joke, you can see your dog right away, but that's what I like.
Did you like doing chores? Did you have a favorite or least favorite chore when you were on the farm? Did you have to do many chores?
I mean, yeah, the one that comes to mind, because we do this one sucks, we'd have to do it no matter how cold it was in the winter, but we had an outdoor wood stove to heat the house.
Oh.
And of course, you don't cut wood for the stove, the house doesn't get heated. So even when it is that -40 blizzard, well, we got to go out and cut logs because we got to heat the home.
Are you Are you the most accomplished athlete in your family? I guess where I'm going with this is, kind of support do you have from your family as you head out on this journey, or headed out on this journey to Edmonton, to the big city, to pursue your not only academic but athletic dream?
My parents have been super supportive of me all along the way. They really wanted me to weigh all my options and make sure that I understand the gravity of what I was doing. Like moving from high school to university is a big step wherever you're going. And so they, again, kind of tied in nicely with being here. They really wanted me to think about there is a life after football. It's going to happen. And so really make sure you're going someplace where they see you as a person and want you to grow that way. And for speaking of athletic history, my mom actually, she's from Romania. She played for the national team there back in, would have been the 70s. Like she went to the national basketball school and all that stuff. So there is a bit of a lineage, I guess you could say, of athleticism.
So was mom disappointed when you picked football over basketball?
No, she was completely fine with it. Like I said, they supported me 110% to go and play football.
So what's a goal of yours this year besides, being a Hardy Cup champion and getting to the Vanier? What's Peter Kozushka's goal for himself this year? Because obviously you have a couple if you've deferred your draft year to get some more tape.
I think my biggest goal is just to really cement a legacy here with the Golden Bears of what we are, what kind of O-line we are. Like that's the biggest thing, just making sure when people look back at film however many years in the future, they go back and then see that 2021 Bears O-line, they played nasty.
That's a good way to look at it. Hey, how have you managed through this pandemic? What have you done? It's been a challenging time for so many. Have you done more schoolwork? Have you picked up any hobbies? Have you done anything differently, Peter?
I really have tried to keep routine through this and try and keep things normal. In a normal year, we would be doing runs and lifts 4 days a week, plus extra work. So I was actually lucky enough that I spent the first half of the semester back home in Saskatchewan where the gyms were open. So I was able to go and use the gyms because they got shut down here in Alberta, but go and do that. So working out, squatting, benching, using the treadmill was good. And then, just really trying to maintain that balance between working out and school life and just mixing it all when there is no real set time for, class starts now, class ends now. Because like with the pandemic, they moved everything into a pretty much an on your own based system where it's on you to just finish it before next week or whenever they have the quiz. So it's really been about time management and making sure that there's balance between everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, a couple more quick ones I'm going to squeeze in here. Peter, your coach said that you're one of the top linemen to ever come through the program since he's been there. How does that make you feel when you hear that?
I thank Coach Morris for putting me up there because I know we've had some pretty big names come through just in the time that I've been here. Like you said, Carter O'Donnell, like my first year spending eligibility actually, 3 out of the 5 guys there are now playing pro. We got Carter, we got Justin Lawrence out in Calgary, we got Mark Forte playing for the Red Blacks. So just like for him to put me there, knowing the standard that we have of great alignment here at the U of A means a lot.
I thought you seemed shocked by that because I thought my feed just froze. You were like, you didn't say too much. So does that take you by surprise when I say that?
I guess yes, because I tend to focus on what I need to grow on and work on to improve, and I don't really try and rank myself amongst an echelon of who's who.
Okay, so while the coach does say you're one of the best to come through here, he did say to take your game to the next level, your feet need to catch up to the rest of your body, which is the case with a lot of big guys. When you're 6'7", 320 pounds, you're a building with feet. So you gotta, you know what I mean? Like your feet gotta catch up to your body. Do you believe that is, and he says you're getting better at that. Do you believe that's your biggest area to improve on is your footwork and getting kind of in symmetry?
Oh, for sure, 100%. And like I was saying before, it's been a growing thing since I became like the biggest guy around. I'm just like learning how to move in your body. And so there's the learning, okay, well now I'm 6'3" at 13 years old. Then there's a different learning of, okay, now I'm 6'7" and 320 pounds. How do I move at this weight? So there's always that balance, and Coach Morse is exactly right. And that's really the biggest thing that I have to work on and just keep working on and improving.
I just thought of something before I let you go. So, like, one of your buddies wants to go for lunch, but he's got like a little car. Can you go with him? How do you get like a small car to go to lunch, like a Taco Bell or something?
I'll tell you, Ballsy, it's not fun, and that's why I usually drive. I got my truck there, and we fit in there, and we'll take that because I have space.
That's awesome, buddy. Hey, I really appreciate, like I've said to many of the guys, one of my favorite things about doing this is putting a name to the jersey that I see, and all you young guys deserve all the credit and all the promotion. So thanks for joining us, and congratulations on being on the list.
Hey, thanks so much for having me here, Ballsy.
Here with Golden Bears receiver Tyler Turner. Tyler, you got a nickname, man?
Not really. I got some people just call me T or TT, but
yeah.
Other than that, really nothing.
How about TNT?
Came up on one of the broadcasts, but
yeah,
I haven't quite claimed that one yet.
How about TNT? I like that, TNT.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Dynamite.
Exactly. Yeah.
Your coach tells me he feels Chris Moore says you're an under the radar type of receiver. You're one of those guys that he thinks is right up there with the best in the conference. How do you feel about your game?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I would prefer to be, on the radar, but I think for me, I'm just pretty reliable, and I think my athleticism kind of shows sometimes in my tape and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's kind of what he means. I haven't really number wise, testing wise, haven't been able to show that, but I think he sees my athleticism every day, and I think that's kind of what he's getting at.
What do you think is your best attribute as a receiver, Tyler?
I would say my athleticism, kind of my body control, but I think deeper than that, it might honestly kind of just knowing where to be when I need to be there, and kind of the strategy of the game.
You were a quarterback coming up. How much did quarterbacking help you at the receiver game?
Yeah, I think that was honestly a huge part of it in minor football. Not only just being the first one to touch the ball in every play, I think that helps, but yeah, just understanding kind of defenses a little bit when you're younger, and just kind of seeing the whole field. And I think it really played a big role in me as a receiver. So
yeah. So when did you make the switch to receiver?
It would have been my first year of Bantam football.
Okay. What do you like about your position? What's your favorite thing about being a receiver?
I think whether or not you're getting the ball thrown to you, you can still be involved in the play. And I think when you do get the chance to make the play, I think that's kind of just it. Like blocking and all that's great, and but when you do get the chance to have the ball thrown to you and you can make the play, I think there's no better feeling than that.
Oh, come on, Dynamite. I'm calling you Dynamite for the purpose of this interview, TNT. So do you really like blocking?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
you like
yeah, I like that part of it. It's a good release if you got a little anger in you, and I think it's just a different element to the position that I think it's why I love football, I think.
I've talked to a few people. They say one thing about you is your meticulous work ethic. Do you agree with that? And where did that come from?
I do agree. I think it's maybe borderline a little bit OCD, not so much perfectionist, but you know, I want to be doing everything right, and yeah, I think it's just kind of not an obsession, but just I'm really committed to. If it's the little things, it kind of starts from those little things and going from there. So I don't want to say my mom gave me the OCD side, but I think maybe that's where, because she's very detail oriented herself. So I think that's kind of where I got that.
That's okay, man. Are you hard on yourself because of that quote unquote OCD, meticulous work ethic, always trying to be, perfect? Are you hard on yourself?
I would say maybe not so hard on myself. I just have high expectations and know what I'm capable of, and of course disappointed if it doesn't go how I want. But I think I'm pretty easygoing, so I'm able to if something doesn't go how I want, I can kind of get over that pretty quickly and go from there.
You know, if a guy is to be upset with this pandemic, I'm talking to him right now in Tyler Turner, because you were signed as a free agent by the BC Lions, and you talk about blocking and stuff, receiver / special teamer, but you never got a chance to go to camp. How disappointing and frustrating has that been for Tyler Turner?
Yeah, I mean, I've referred to 2020 as very bittersweet because, of course, the pandemic has been troubling for so many people and has really changed a lot of people's lives, and so it's really sad that way. But then I got probably the best news kind of in my life, something I've been working towards since I've been playing football, to be signed by the Lions. So yeah, it was bittersweet is pretty much all I can say. I was looking forward to it, but I mean, I think the opportunity will still arise, and I'm hoping I'll get that opportunity to show.
So with regards to the Lions, you know, you're kind of up in the air right now. Do you know where it stands with them? Have you had any further discussions here that we didn't have at 2020?
Right. Yeah, we're kind of all under the impression that the season probably won't start in May when they expect, but it hasn't really been confirmed by the league or anything. So still kind of up in the air about that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the opportunity, and I've heard good things from the coaches and stuff. So,
hey, Tyler, here in Saskatchewan, where I tape this in Regina, we haven't had the shutdowns that you guys have had in Alberta. So how have you stayed in shape when you had to work out at home? Did you have any unique home workouts or anything like that? I've talked to guys, they've arm curled like pop cans. Guys have been squatting like water softener salt.
No, I've actually been really fortunate. My parents had a little bench set up and some weights as we were growing up, so I was just able to move that to a friend's house who had a little bit of a bigger space, a little bit of a better gym atmosphere, and so I've been very fortunate to kind of have everything that I've needed. And the only thing with not being able to be on a field with all the snow and stuff like that, but there's always ways to either run some stairs or kind of tough it out on the running on the road. So yeah, I've been very fortunate.
Hey, mental health's a big deal amongst athletes, and it's really been weighing on everybody this pandemic, but especially athletes like yourself who train so hard. I believe your psychology is what you're studying in school, am I correct?
Yeah, psych major, yeah.
How much has that helped you through this? Has it helped you? Does it help you on the football field?
Yeah, I think honestly it has been a very applicable degree for me. Just kind of in those personal relationships, I'm able to kind of rely on others, and I can be there for others too. And I think that's kind of been the biggest thing throughout this whole pandemic is just able to surround myself with, whether it be my family or some friends, and just keep in contact with people. And yeah, I think even in football, it's the same thing. It's knowing your teammates, knowing kind of what they need and how you can help. So I think it has been really applicable for me.
So just quickly, tell us what you like to do away from the football field. We know psychology is the field of study. We know football. We know BC Lions, Golden Bears. What does Tyler Turner like to do away from football?
I've grown up around sports, so I like to be active. I like being out there. I've been picking up tennis in the past year, so I've been loving tennis, and yeah, I think if I can go outside, do anything kind of active, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't have any crazy hobbies. No kind of.
Why tennis?
Cool sticks.
Tennis doesn't seem like a young guy's game anymore. I know that like there's a few good tennis players, obviously, that you Ronich and some of those guys, but like, why tennis?
I'm not sure. I never really got the opportunity to play when I was younger, just because I was kind of busy with all the other team sports. So I was a big badminton player in junior high and high school, and yeah, I just thought it was a good way to get outside, and found that I was pretty decent at it. So it's just been something that I think it's a tough sport, so I like challenging myself too. So
There's a couple of guys in this list that could play CFL if we have a season, or could be back playing football at the USPORTS level. So Tyler Turner, Dynamite, give me one goal for your pro aspirations this year, and maybe one if the pros aren't quite there yet and you come back to the Golden Bears.
for sure, yeah. Obviously pro, going to be a rookie coming into camp, so I just want to show what maybe I haven't been able to on whether it be film or just make the roster, and however that may look, and be able to contribute that way. And U Sports, I'm a captain on the team, so I want to be able to lead the younger guys and obviously have a very productive season, receiving and however else I can help.
Tyler, thanks for this. I really appreciate it, man. I look forward to seeing you either on the pro gridiron or the university gridiron.
For sure. Thank you.
All right, Nick, tell us how you go from Okotoks, Alberta to Eugene, Oregon.
Well, I spent my first 2 years of high school, obviously, at Holy Trinity Academy in Okotoks, Alberta, and I decided to make a couple changes. I had a dream from a pretty young age to play Division I football, and I wanted to make that more of a plausible outcome for me. So I decided that I wanted to transfer down to IMG Academy in Florida. And I went to a camp down there. The linebacker coach recruited me there, and then I went down there, transferred for my last 2 years of high school, and then Jim Levitt, the old defensive coordinator of Oregon, actually knew my linebacker coach at IMG really well. And yeah, it went from there. He gave me Coach Levitt's number, and we hit it off. And loved my time at Oregon with Coach Levitt, and wouldn't change it for the world.
So talk about the scene there. Eugene, Oregon is a rabid football town. It is the Ducks are Eugene, Oregon, basically. Just expand on that for me a little bit.
It's a pretty wild game day scene. They shut. There's a street in front of Autzen Stadium called Martin Luther King Jr. Street, and they shut it down. There's no cars going on game day. It's all foot traffic, and all the students are piling over the bridge to get to the stadium. And you walk out for warm-ups, and everybody's like, we have our little tunnel. We walk from our locker room to the tunnel, and you walk into the stadium, and even just for warm-ups, all the fans are outside. They're trying to give you high fives, dap you up while you're on your way to warm-ups and stuff like that. So it's a pretty wild experience, just because people, I think it was my freshman year. We played University of Washington at home on it wasn't college game day, but it was like Pac-12 game of the week or something like that. And standing room only, we won in overtime. It was the fans rushed the field after. It was the wildest experience I've ever had playing football. It was just insane.
So your number one goal growing up was to play Division I football. So a very obvious question is, why come back to Canada?
So there's some family issues that brought me home for sure. I wanted to be closer to home, closer to the family. My dad wasn't doing too hot with his health for a little minute there, and I kind of felt like I was like out of the picture and wasn't able to help as much when I was in Oregon, just because I couldn't make it home as much, especially with COVID. The border kind of made it difficult to get home and see everybody and help out the family while that was happening. So I think that kind of played into it. A couple coaching changes at Oregon also played into it. The guy, Jim Levitt, who recruited me, he took a job at Florida State. He's at SMU now, but he took a job at Florida State after my freshman year. So kind of makes it hard when the guys bring their own guys in, and it's a business down there. I totally understand it. You win and lose with the guys you recruit. So I totally understand the mindset down there. But I think it was a combination of the coaching changes and just wanted to get home and be closer to the family.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. You're closer to home, closer to family. You're Okotoks guy. There's a team right there, the Calgary Dinos.
Yes, sir.
Why do you choose the U of S Huskies?
I talked to both schools pretty seriously for most of my recruiting process coming back to Canada, and it just took one trip out to Saskatoon to sell me on the team. Coach Flory, Coach Mazika. There's no other coach I'd rather play for in the country than Scott Flory and Coach Mazika. They're just standout dudes, great dudes, football head, like just football junkies, and the town of Saskatoon kind of reminded me a little bit of Eugene, just because the town kind of revolves around the university and the Huskies. So I think it reminded me a lot of Eugene in that way. So I decided that it was the best fit for me to go out to Saskatoon. And it's a 5-hour drive, an hour flight, so it's really close to home anyway. Like, I kind of narrowed my search in the recruiting process down to Western Canadian teams, so it was anywhere in CanWest was probably going to be a close enough fit for my family.
You got a couple of years of eligibility left. Did you look at the rosters too and say, hey, these guys are set, they got a great quarterback, they got a great running back, they got a really good defense? Like, I definitely can win a couple of championships.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I looked at the roster and I saw, Adam Mackert. He was the rushing leader 2 years ago in the country. And the guys I'm going to be playing beside too, Seth Hundeby, just a stupidly freakish athlete, 6'3", 230. He's athletic as all get out. And the other guy beside me who's going to be playing with me, Ramsey Durbis, obviously rookie of the year from 2 years ago. And the guys in front of me, I knew pretty well too. John Leggett and Riley Pickett and Nathan Cherry, all huge guys who are going to play their butts off to keep some blocks off me. So I really appreciate that about them. And I think me and my family kind of sat down and we said, well, it's going to be U of C and U of S playing for the CanWest championship for a good long time here. So I think either way is going to be good. And I just felt at home at U of S. Yeah, that's neat. I'm interested. I'm sure you're interested to see the difference. Like my son's down playing FCS at North Dakota. I think the difference, maybe there's a lot of great athletes here playing USPORTS football, as you're going to find out, and you just mentioned a few of them right there. It's the depth of the team. You know what I mean? If you get into injury problems at USPORTS, like if Nick Wiebe gets hurt in Oregon, there's probably 4 other linebackers that come in and you don't miss a beat. You don't have that here at USPORTS. I think that's going to be the biggest difference. Yes, sir. I think for sure, to an extent, I think that'll be a difference. But, there are guys behind me who I would trust to pick up the slack right away if I went down or Ramsey went down or Seth went down. I think guys in that linebacking core are experienced enough and they're scrappy and athletic enough, and they can make plays. They can make the plays that we make as well. So, I mean, I think to an extent, there's not the 4 and 5 stars behind you kind of nipping at your heels and coming in and making plays when you go down. But I think to a certain extent, there are guys here who will make plays if you go down as well.
What do you bring to this team? What can we expect from Nick Wiebe?
I think you can expect a guy who plays with a massive chip on his shoulder. I like to get after it. I like to mix it up a little bit between the whistles and make sure they know I just laid them out. So I like to do that and play sideline to sideline. Pride myself on hitting guys pretty hard, so that's one thing that I like to do. They don't give you the neck roll for no reason. So I like to pride myself on a little bit of hit power and just scrape over the top, make plays, play sideline to sideline, and get in the backfield.
You really are going to the Oregon of the CanWest because it is a college town and they do have some different jersey combinations, as I alluded to. You get to keep number 43.
Yes, sir, I did. I actually wear. There's the reason I play with such a huge chip on my shoulder and wear 43 actually is I think it was my freshman year of high school. No, it was my grade 10 year of high school at HTA. I actually tried out for Team Alberta in the U18 team, and I got cut in the first round of cuts. And the number they gave me to try out was 43. So I've worn it ever since, and I never forget how it made me feel to look at the second cut roster and not see my name on there. So I think that's a big reason why I play with such a huge chip on my shoulder and why 43 stuck around for so long.
Do you have any aspirations of playing professional football, NFL or CFL now that you're back in Canada?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think so. I'd like to play out as football as long as I can. I fell in love with the game at a young age, and the feeling has never waned. So, I'd like to be in the game and stay around the game for as long as possible, whether it be CFL or maybe getting a shot down south. I mean, either one. I just really like to stay around the game for a long time.
How did you fall in love with the game of football?
Well, my dad actually kind of introduced me. Well, he essentially put me in as many sports as he could when I was a young kid. I played a lot of rugby and baseball and hockey and football, and when it got to high school, it was narrowed down between essentially hockey and football. And I think my dad wanted me to play hockey a little more. He actually went to University of North Dakota to play hockey.
Nice.
So he wanted me to play hockey a little more. I think he saw a little bit more of a future for me in hockey, but I always just loved football a little bit more than hockey. And yeah, I've never felt so attached to a sport than I have to football.
Nice. That's a good way to put it, man. I love that passion. Okay, lastly, you mentioned your dad's health. I'm interested. Is he doing better? And you talk about different issues. I've told you this before off air and even on air in my podcast. I had my son my son was going to go to Calgary, but then he decided to go to North Dakota. It was the same distance, just a little bit better off for North Dakota.
Yes,
same distance of travel, but then the pandemic hits and he might as well have been living in Germany because I couldn't see him. You know what I mean? So did that factor in with, you can't see your family as much. Your dad's health wasn't great for a bit there. Did it all come together like, yeah, I got to come home?
Yes, sir. I think it was a perfect storm of a lot of issues. I think not being able to see like my close family for 6-8 months at a time, when COVID was really bad down there, it was really tough for me because I grew up in a very tight-knit family. We have dinner together every night. We were always together. So, it was tough for me to not be able to see them every weekend for games and stuff like that. And I think just my dad's health kind of emphasized that point a little bit more for me in my head, that I needed to come home and make sure they can see all my games and make sure that they can be in the stands every Friday night. So it's funny what puts your life in perspective, isn't it? Yes, sir. No, absolutely. It makes football seem really small. It really does. So I couldn't be happier with the choice I made, though. I'm just fired up to get after it this year.
Well, man, I'm looking forward to watching you play. Can't wait to see number 43 in Husky colors run around and wreak some havoc. That's awesome. Here with U.S. Huskies defensive lineman Riley Pickett. How are you doing, Riley?
No, I'm great. Sun's shining, and I'm about to go hit the gym, so no complaints at all.
So maybe I'm wrong. The first time we've talked face to face, so to speak, I pictured you with long hair. Have you ever had long hair?
Yeah, I used to have Goldilocks back in the hockey playing days, but I've cleaned it up a bit since then.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, you got it because you're an accountant, man.
Yep.
That's awesome. So as we talk, you just got off work. Where do you work?
I work at Ernst & Young in Saskatoon here.
So you're ready to go right after this ties into your degree. So you've already got your post-football plan.
Yes, sir. I got the career all set up, so that's a good feeling, that's for sure.
Have you always been a numbers guy?
Honestly, not really. This kind of dawned on me in the last couple of years of school that I like the way that financial statements are just put together and stuff. And, I just figured that I'd use that to my strength. And here I am 2 years later. Didn't expect it, but no complaints. Dude,
don't take this the wrong way, but I think big, burly football player, probably fiery on the field. Accountants are nerds, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But there's actually a lot of ex-athletes in my office, so the culture is pretty well.
How much did playing junior football at a high level with an accomplished program in Saskatoon help you with the transition to USPORTS football?
It helped me a lot, honestly. There's a big jump from junior to USPORTS, but the program that I played with set us up pretty well for success. And just like the 6 inches between the ears, right? They really taught you how to win, be mentally tough. If you don't have a good play, there's 50 more plays in the game to go and make up for that. So that's the thing. Just don't get down on yourself and go out there and just do it for the guy beside you, pretty much.
What was the biggest transition coming from junior football?
Probably just the lateral play, a little bit faster side to side. Then obviously the size of the linemen are a little bit bigger, but other than that, it's just football, man.
What's your best pass rushing move?
I like the cross chop outside or the long arm to stab club. Those are my two favorites, probably.
Can you show me with your hands a little bit how you do that? Can you do that?
So it's if you come in there with the long arm, and then obviously I'm holding my phone with the other hand.
Yeah,
then the offensive tackle will shoot out his outside arm.
Right.
And then you'll just like, as soon as you see that movement with your opposite arm that you're not long arming with, you'll just like flip your hips and like shoot at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then cross chops is kind of like the Aaron Donald special, honestly. Watch a lot of his film, and you just you wait until that outside arm shoots on the offensive tackle, and you get a little bit of air. You have a little jump and just like come across and swing by, flip the hips.
So a lot of momentum, a lot of momentum. Your momentum and using his momentum against him. Have you always been a student of the game in terms of film work?
I've always loved film because if you know what's going to happen before the play, you have a way better chance of executing it, right? So like I've always just like been a big fan of film because out of every formation, there's only about 2 or 3 plays that the offense can run, right? And like based on what the offensive tackle does on the snap of the ball, you have a pretty good idea of what's happening right in front of you.
So I asked you your pass rushing move. What is your best attribute as a defensive lineman, you feel?
Honestly, my strength and my aggression probably are my 2 biggest attributes. You know, like I'll never back down to anybody. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how fast you are. I want to go out there and I want to make you my son, so to speak. That's how I've always been, and that's how I'll always play the game. Why did you start playing football? I remember when Clay Matthews got drafted to the Packers, I always just wanted to rush the passer. I thought he was super cool. I wanted to be jacked. And like everybody's watching the quarterback, and that's the other team's most valuable player. So the more licks you can get on him gives your team the better chance to win. So that's just kind of why I switched positions there. And I've always just been like a team oriented guy. Grew up playing a lot of hockey, a lot of lacrosse kind of stuff, baseball. And I just always liked the contact aspect of it. And obviously nothing else had contact other than hockey. And I just wanted to play 2 sports with the aggression factor. So what quarterback do you like to hit in the CanWest most? My favorite sack was probably against Pickett in my rookie year because he was super hyped up. And that's probably my favorite one. But currently, probably Cotillier, because Cotillier likes to talk a lot out there.
Does he?
Yeah. It's always fun to smack him in the mouth.
Would you like to hit Nias?
Sometimes in practice, I'd like to hit Nias, because in his eyes, even if you beat your tackle clean and you just run right by him, like, oh, I got that off. But obviously not. He's my boy, and but ground with him like that one is coming for you, buddy.
That's good. That's funny. Hey, so in terms of your team, how do you feel about your team's chances? It looks like, and it feels good that they say we're going to play a 6-game season here starting in September. How do you feel about your team's chances? You're kind of built to win it here in the next little bit.
Yeah, honestly, like I think that our team is built to win. I'm really looking forward to what's to come. We have a really solid offense. We have a really solid defense. I don't think any teams will be able to run the ball on us. In my whole tenure here, no one's ever been able to run the ball on us, and that's not going to change now. Our secondary is really developed. We have like one of the best safeties in the country, I'd say, back there patrolling. And obviously we're going to lose Nelson, but there's always guys to step up and ready to go. And I think Charlie Ringland's going to be a ball hawk for us back there this year. And Colton Holmes out of junior from the Hilltops, I think that he'll be able to fill Nelson's role pretty well.
Do you have what's your personal goal for this year? Like, don't say Hardy Cup, don't say Vanier Cup. Everybody says that. What is Riley Pickett's personal goal this year? What kind of numbers, you accountant, do you want to achieve?
Honestly, like I think a sack per game ratio would be really, really impressive for me. I haven't really got the stats that I've wanted since I've left the Hilltops because I've just like kind of been thrown into a different scheme. But all that matters at the end of the day is that you win games and everything else will take care of itself. But, the things that I probably want would just be like first team All-Canadian. Like I really want that. I really want everyone to know that I'll beat you one-on-one, no matter what the situation is, no matter who I'm playing, no matter where I am. That's just kind of what I want. But at the end of the day, like I just think that winning takes care of everything. Having dominant film takes care of everything. And I just think that good things will come of that.
So Haggerty gets drafted, Lacombo gets drafted, Bergloff gets drafted. Do you have aspirations to play pro football?
Of course I do. I was disappointed with not making East-West somehow this year. I don't really know how that decision was made, but just adds to the chip on the shoulder, obviously. And the league's just going to see a different version of me this year. They're going to see a faster version of me. They're going to see a harder hitting version of me. And I just can't wait to go out there and prove everybody wrong. Because if you look at that list of the guys that made it, I don't think I've even recognized one D lineman's name on that list, to be completely honest with you. I don't even know who any of them are. And I took it personal. I really did take it personal. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show the league that they messed up.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to put it, man. I like the chip on the shoulder for sure. And lastly, how did you get better in a pandemic? A lot of guys picked up a hobby. They read some books. They did extra film work. Can you identify an area you got better maybe as a football player or as a person in the pandemic?
So I'll start as a person. I just kind of learned that the cup's always half full. You can't control anything except for what you do. You just got to make the most out of every situation possible. So like that really helped me grow as a person. And this like kind of made me realize that we take a lot of things for granted out there. And, without that freedom and without being able to do what you please, a lot of people struggle with that, right?
Right.
So I just like pretty much took it upon myself just to make myself better every day in the mindset there. And then as a football player, we were lucky enough to have a home gym in the garage. So I was grinding in there, got my legs way bigger, way stronger. And my brother plays on the Hilltops, actually, same position as me. Mm-hmm. So we just worked straight pass rush moves all summer and all spring here when the snow melted. So I'm really just looking forward to it. And I also picked up golf as a hobby.
You're not the first guy. A lot of guys have done that. How do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. It's just like relaxing, and I just love being outside in the nature. So that was a great experience. I got the drive going pretty far, pretty good. Just need to work on the chipping game, but driving and putting are my strengths for sure.
That's awesome, man. You're not the first guy. There's two things I want to pick up this summer: golf,
yep,
and fishing. Both
fishing.
Kind of relaxing, but both very intimidating for me. I can stand in front of a crowd of 1,500 and MC and do that type of stuff. What I can't do is I'm very nervous standing on a tee box and 3 other guys are watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not very good.
For sure.
Or fishing. I feel awkward trying to first bait the hook and then put it in the water. I just feel those are 2 very awkward things for me. Especially, I guess if I'm fishing by myself, who cares? Or golfing, but if I'm with other people, I get a little nervous.
Yeah, I feel you for sure. But at the end of the day, practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to watching you play. I say this to a lot of people, but just your conviction, the way you're talking, your confidence, the chip on the shoulder, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised that you're, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought big lineman, probably a warehouse worker, not that there's anything wrong with that, but you're an accountant. I like it, man. You're set up for life after football, so you're good either way.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Awesome, man. Thanks for this. Appreciate it, Riley.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for the time as well. I really appreciate making the list, man.
Okay, Luke. So first off, nice to meet you. We were talking before we rolled tape here. I asked you if you were an NFL or a CFL guy, and you're one of the few younger dudes that kind of gravitate towards the CFL, which I really like. Why is that?
I don't know. I just think it's more relevant, being a player at UBC, and, that's probably my path would be more into the CFL than the NFL. So I just find it interesting to keep up to date, with teams and stuff and sort of the news and what's going on. And especially just being a Canadian too, it's part of the culture, it's part of the heritage. So I just really like it.
So let's talk about football. You're when I looked up on the website, it says DB, but I talked to a few coaches and a few things. They say you play DB, you play linebacker, you can play on the D line. You're kind of like a Swiss Army knife. Is that how you see yourself?
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say, especially my role at the UBC program, especially with Coach Tracy's defense, he likes to move guys around a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think with my sort of athletic ability and not a ton of experience at one specific position, I think I'm pretty useful kind of as a utility guy, sort of all over the defense and on special teams as well, especially. I'm also long snapping and then doing all that.
besides your versatility, which we just talked about, what's another strength of your game, Luke?
I'd say my biggest strength is my work ethic and my dedication to the craft. And, you know, like I said, I don't have a ton of experience, so I'm not like, you know, one of those all-star kind of all-Canadian guys right now. But I believe if I continue along the path that I'm already on and continue to dedicate myself to it, I think I can achieve great things.
Funny, because I've talked to a couple coaches and a couple of teammates, and that's exactly what they say. They say you're probably the hardest working guy on the team. So where does that work ethic come from? Is it because you I don't know how to put this. You know you're talented, but you're kind of playing with a chip on your shoulder that you just said yourself, you're not of the all-star caliber right now. So you think, is that where it comes from? You got to work that extra little bit to keep you in the mix, so to speak?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. I think just growing up, I think my parents definitely played a huge role in instilling that kind of culture and, you know, instilling those values into me. And I think just because I love football so much and this is what I want to do with my life, it definitely sort of keeps me driven every single day to always be pushing myself and always be getting better and stuff.
What did your parents do, or what do they do for a living? Like, what do they do to exude that work ethic you talked about?
Well, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I used to play piano when I was young, and that was like probably one of the biggest things that taught me, you know, how to like push through things that you don't want to do. Like I played piano for 11 years and I don't think I enjoyed 1 minute of it. But since I was always doing it and always just, you know, put my nose to the grindstone and getting those things done and out of the way that I didn't want to do, I would always be improving. And then so that brought satisfaction myself. And then like, especially in school too, like with homework, you know, couldn't do this, couldn't do that until I got my homework done. And, you know, I think that especially helped me get good grades as well.
So why did your parents want you to do piano? Like what, and how big a fight was it to stay doing piano? That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't exactly know why piano specifically was chosen. Yeah, I don't know.
So let me ask you this. Can you woo your teammates by sitting down and playing something, or girls or something like that, man? Significant other?
Maybe if I kept up to date with it. I haven't played in a while, but I definitely still have, you know, just over quarantine kind of last year, I was trying to pick up another song just as something to do, and it all came back to me, and it was really nice. So
what song did you learn to play over the break, or songs?
I was learning a piece by Claude Debussy.
Okay.
It was called Reverie. He was the guy who wrote Clair de Lune. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really mean much to me, but it sounds fancy, and I tell you what, man, I'm impressed. Did you do anything else in this time to, like, they always say don't waste a crisis. So like, what did you do to get better as a person, not only away from the football field? Like, playing piano is good, but did you do something else? And what have you identified in your game to get better here during this kind of downtime, maybe through film work?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was long snapping. So kind of like last year before the pandemic hit, I started to kind of pick up long snap, and I was like, you know, maybe this is like a good skill to have, you know, kind of in the back pocket, maybe if increase my chances of getting drafted or whatever. But
maybe dude, you could play for 20 years snapping the ball. Maybe give your head a shake.
Yeah, exactly. That's like why, you know, when this pandemic hit, it really became a reality that like this is such a useful asset. So I found myself a nice coach down in the States, and I sent him film on all that stuff, and just been working on it. Like, it's just been so satisfying just to have something to, you know, work on and like dedicate all my time to, especially since I like don't really have a specific position on the team. I know that like with long snapping, this is something that like I can really improve myself on, and, you know, can be grounded in.
There's that work ethic we were alluding to. So who catches the snaps for you? Mom, dad, a friend? Or do you do it kind of No, check this out, because my buddy Jorgen Hughes is a long snapper for the Riders, and he has YouTube videos where he's snapping it through a passing car and stuff. Like, you set cams up behind you for accuracy and stuff. What do you do?
Yeah, most of the time I just go to the field by myself, find like a soccer net or something, and just hang a cone in there. And I'll just do all my drills and all my snaps and just keep trying to hit that cone, just that one little spot. And you know, it's good right now since I'm back on campus and stuff, and some more guys are on campus, a couple other long snappers, and we get working together, so that's good.
How do you feel about your team's chances in 2021? When we talk about some of the teams here this year, Calgary, obviously, U of S is going to be a contender. I think the Rams have a sneaky good team. Your team, to be honest with you, we don't know a lot about your team. And I think you're still maybe one of those fly under the radar teams. You think you can catch some teams by surprise this year?
Yes, absolutely. I think we have a really great recruiting class in 2020 and 2021. Brought in a lot of good talent, and I think we're going to do better than 2019, to say the least.
Yeah, that was a rough year.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal, but all the boys are, well, not all of them, but a lot of the boys are here and putting in work on campus, and it's really good to see, especially like in team workouts and stuff. So
what do you think of your as of 2019, what do you think of your new look with the helmets and that kind of that jersey change from the historic look you guys had all over the years?
Oh man, honestly, I loved it. I love the navy and gold. I like it a lot more than like those kind of like flashy yellow and blue kind of colors. I think it looks a lot more
sleek.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Helmets too.
So how long have you been playing football? Like, when did you decide this was your love and this is what you would pursue?
Yeah, so I picked it up when I was 16. I guess that was 2016, 17 kind of spring.
Boy, that's really late. Why so late? And how did you decide to pick it up?
Yeah, well, originally I was more of a lacrosse guy. Like, I've always loved sports, but lacrosse was just kind of in the family, and so that was the thing that I gravitated towards. But then I saw like a local community team kind of putting up flyers around my school, and I was like, fuck, like, football looks pretty cool, like, might as well try it out. And then I got a lot of support from the coaches, just being like, you know, with my athletic ability, and it kind of guided me into that program. And then I only played a couple years of community football and then kind of walked on at UBC, and it all worked out.
Man, that is a great story. Okay, lastly, we know I can ask you about the team goals. Everybody gives me the generic, want to win the Hardy Cup and then have a chance to go all the way to the championship. But for you, Luke, what is your, give me one personal goal for yourself here in 2021. Should we get on the field? We're hoping we get on the field. Let's be positive. We're going to be on the field. So what's your goal in 2021?
My goal in 2021 is to realize the player that I know I am. I don't think I've kind of reached that level yet. And I think in 2021 is going to be a big year for me, and that I'm going to be able to showcase all the stuff that I've been working on this past year without football. And I think I just want to, you know, let myself shine, for lack of a better phrase, I guess.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, man, as a guy who's called Ram games for a long time, a Rider broadcaster, I'm really looking forward. You're one of the guys I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can do. And maybe if they're smart, they'll bring you out as the halftime show at a UBC game, and you can play piano center field for money, pay for your tuition.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm down for it.
Hey, man, thanks for this. Congratulations on getting into the game of football and working as hard as you do. And like I said, I can't wait to see you.
All right, Michael, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that'll bring to a close another episode of the CanWest Top 50. I'm your host, Ballsy. Make sure you do your part to grow the game. We'll talk to you soon.